Draft season is officially upon us. After an unusual schedule to the NBA year, the summer draft has finally arrived. We get to find out who's next up to be a part of the elite brotherhood of the association. What it do, what's good YouTube, it's your boy KevoJr's and I'm back with another video, and the NBA offseason is here, which brings us one of my favorite times of the year, the NBA draft. This draft brings us some of the best young talent that the basketball world has showcased in a very long time. In this video, I'll be giving y'all my own mock draft and where I see each team fitting their roster's needs. My picks are based off of future trades teams can and are rumored to make, and also on that player's potential and how I think they'll fit with the team and that team's needs. So without further ado, let's jump right into the video. With the first pick in my mock draft, I have the Pistons selecting Cade Cunningham out of Oklahoma State. The 6'8" point guard is one of the most intriguing and polished prospects in the past few years. What he lacks in athleticism, he makes up with his terrific IQ, size, and creating ability. I could go on and on about how good of a player Cade is, but the tape can speak for itself.
Minutes left here in this first half. Home opener for the Cowboys.
Cade Cunningham just content to dribble it down.
He's going to take this shot here.
Over Dennis, hits his first basket of the half.
My NBA comparison for Cunningham would be Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, as they are both big, tall, and smart guards who can create for themselves and their teammates. With the second pick, the Houston Rockets take Jalen Green from the G League Ignite team. Green chose to forego college and play with the NBA's newly created path inside the G League. The 6'6" shooting guard has a finesse to him that not many players in the draft have. He's long and arguably the most athletic player in the class. He's a pure scorer that will fit perfect next to Kevin Porter Jr. in the Rockets' backcourt. My player count for Green is Zach LaVine, as they're both uber athletic guards that are great shooters. With the third pick, the Cleveland Cavaliers select Evan Mobley out of USC. One of the most mobile big men the draft class has seen since Anthony Davis, Evan Mobley has the ideal tools that a franchise will want in their big man in today's NBA. He's a 7-footer that moves terrifically for his size and his length. His ability to shoot, space the floor, and move on defense is what will separate himself from other NBA bigs.
He's an assistant with Mike at Stanford. Nice play on the...
This pick by the Cavs will give them the opportunity to trade Jared Allen for more pieces to build their team. My player count for Evan Mobley is a more agile Chris Bosh. With the fourth pick, the Toronto Raptors select Jalen Suggs from Gonzaga. Suggs is a very crafty guard that can create his own shot and create for his teammates.
How about the perimeter defense from Gonzaga to start this half
for Northwestern State. Suggs the lead for Timmy.
His will to score often overshadows his defensive ability, as he is a great defender.
There's going to open up other areas. Once again, Suggs.
His second pick. Maneuvering.
And finishing.
He'll be able to cover the needs that the Raptors will lose when they trade Kyle Lowry this offseason. He's just a gamer and a hooper overall that will have great success in the NBA.
Gonzaga has time to do something. Suggs for the win.
My pro comp is Jamal Murray, as they are both elite shot makers. With the fifth pick, the Magic select Scotty Barnes from Florida State. The 6'9" forward, also known as a supersized guard, has the most potential than anyone in the draft. Coming off the bench in college, Scotty ran a lot of point guard and was a great facilitator. He has great size at 6'9" and a 7'2" wingspan and can guard everyone on the floor at 1 through 5. He does lack a jump shot, as he shot 27% from 3 in college, but with some work in the NBA he can become almost unguardable. My pro comp for Scotty would be pre-MVP Giannis or Ben Simmons with a scoring mindset. With the sixth pick, the Thunder select James Bouknight from UConn. Bouknight is a 6'5" scoring guard who has a knack to go get a bucket. He was one of the best scorers in the country and had a smoothness to his game.
Back the other way. Can't take your eyes off this kid, folks.
Like all great guards, he can play on it or...
The one negative to his game is that when he isn't scoring, he doesn't do much else that stands out. The Thunder had great success with two guards on the floor at the same time with CP3 and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, so with this pick they could try and recreate a younger version of that tactic. If Bouknight can learn to create for his teammates without turning the ball over, OKC could have a hit on this pick. My NBA comp will be Jordan Clarkson, as they are both outstanding scorers who have a certain flash to their game. With the 7th pick and first of their 2 first-round picks, the Warriors select Davion Mitchell from Baylor. After Cade Cunningham, Davion Mitchell is the best point guard in this class. One of the best on-ball defenders, shot creators, and ball handlers in this draft, Mitchell could see himself in the starting lineup day one with the Golden State Warriors. There are very few flaws to his game offensively, as he averaged 14 points, 5 assists, and shot 45% from 3 this season. The Warriors have had talks of trading for another star guard to fit with Steph Curry and Klay Thompson in their backcourt, but if they decide to keep both of their picks, Davion Mitchell could take that starting role and thrive from the jump. With the Warriors being a shot-heavy team, Davion's ability to score on the catch and off the dribble will do wonders for them.
Outstanding defense.
My NBA count for Mitchell will be Drew Holiday, as they are both great players offensively and terrific defenders. With the 8th pick, the Orlando Magic select Jonathan Kuminga from the G League Ignite team. Kuminga is another one of those prospects where it'll take time for him to reach his full potential. At 6'8", 220, and a 7-foot wingspan, he has great size for his position and is very athletic. He did not perform the best in the few games he played for the G League, but everything is there that a team will want in a prospect.
To get to the next step or the next level, because he looks great out there.
His greatest strengths is his shot making and finishing around the rim. His potential on the defensive end is what can help his stock rise to be selected in the lottery. My NBA count for Kuminga will be OG Anunoby, as they are both big forwards who are great 3-and-D guys. With the 9th pick, the Sacramento Kings select Moses Moody out of Arkansas. Moody is a natural scorer who has a great feel for the game. He has great size for a shooting guard at 6'6" with a 7'1" wingspan. He excelled offensively, coming off of screens and creating off the dribble. With the Kings looking to trade Buddy Hield this offseason, Moody can fill that spot instantly and become a main scorer for them.
A much more complete player and most likely a first-team All-SECer.
My NBA count for Moody will be Chris Middleton, as they are both elite shot makers and shot creators. With the 10th pick, the Memphis Grizzlies select Franz Wagner out of Michigan. This pick mainly comes down to the potential of Wagner. Younger brother of Magic big man Mo Wagner, at 6'9" and only 19 years old, he could be an exceptional wing player if developed right. He wasn't the best scorer, but held his own offensively. If he can develop a better catch and shoot game and shot creating ability, he will pair up nicely alongside Ja Morant and Jaren Jackson Jr. My pro count will be Gordon Hayward, as they are both slower forwards that can get to their spots. With the 11th pick, the Charlotte Hornets select Alperen Şengün from Turkey. Şengün is a young, dominant big man from Turkey who can become a force in today's NBA. His ability to score in the paint among big centers is what he'll make his money on. With the Hornets' need at center, Şengün can fill that hole immediately and be great for them. He is a very athletic big who can excel in pick and rolls with LaMelo. His only major flaws are his pick and roll defense, where he is very slow on that end, and his jump shot, where he only shot 23% from 3 in his career in Turkey. If he can start to make strides with his 3-point shot, he'll be in this league for a very long time. My NBA comparison for Şengün will be Domantas Sabonis, as they are both great offensive players but struggle defensively in pick and rolls. With the 12th pick, the San Antonio Spurs select Josh Giddey from Australia. Giddey is a 6'8" point guard who has an amazing feel for the game and great court vision. He led the Australian NBL in assists with 7.4 per game. He is by far the best passer in this draft, who is a great creator for his teammates. He isn't the fastest or most athletic player on the floor, but his IQ and feel for the game is what separates himself from everyone else.
I've got to run the show.
He also isn't the best defender or shooter, but with time his shot will develop.
So far. Calls off the charges on this one.
Coach Popovich loves his international players, and Josh Giddey can be next in line to play for one of the best coaches of all time. Giddey's pro count will be Luka Doncic, as they are both terrific passers but could use a little more work on their jump shots. With the 13th pick, the Indiana Pacers select Jalen Johnson from Duke. Johnson, who left the Blue Devils mid-season, is a very physical and explosive 6'9" forward who can be a force athletically.
And here he comes. And there he goes.
He is best in transition, where defenders are out of position and it's hard to stop him at full speed.
On his own. Falling away.
He isn't a great shooter, but he makes up for it with his aggressive nature.
Jalen Johnson, nice.
He can guard anyone from point guards to centers and will be a great NBA defender. My pro con for Johnson will be Aaron Gordon because they are both athletic freaks but aren't that great in the half court. With the 14th pick, the Warriors select Chris Duarte from Oregon. Duarte was one of the better scorers in the nation as he shot 42% from 3 on 5.5 attempts per game. He's a great shot creator who gets after it on the offensive end. One of the few knacks on Duarte is his age as he is already 24 years old. The Warriors love scorers as they have hosted multiple workouts for Duarte. He can be an asset off the bench in that category as he's been rumored to have mutual interest with Golden State. My NBA comparison for Duarte will be Gary Trent Jr. or Jordan Poole as they all are good scorers with similar play styles. With the 15th pick, the Washington Wizards select Corey Kispert from Gonzaga. Kispert was arguably the best shooter in the nation with a 48% three-point percentage. At a strong 6'7", 220 pounds, Kispert has the potential to be able to compete physically with stronger guards in the NBA. He isn't that athletic or the greatest of a playmaker, however.
Kispert.
With the rumor of Bradley Beal likely seeking a trade from Washington, this will allow Kispert to grow as a player from day one. My pro con for Kispert will be Joe Harris as they are both great shooters but not that gifted athletically. With the 16th pick, the Oklahoma City Thunder select Isaiah Jackson out of Kentucky. Jackson is the best rim protector in this class as he was a shot blocking machine. At 6'11", he is one of the most athletic players in this draft. His ability to run the floor and dunk and get blocks is what makes him a first round pick. He isn't the most fluid scorer, but if he can develop a mid-range or three-point jump shot, he can be very effective in this league. My pro con for Jackson is Robert Williams as they are both freakish athletes who are some of the best shot blockers in the world. With the 17th pick, the Pelicans select Miles McBride from West Virginia. McBride was an outstanding defender in college as he stayed in front of ball handlers very well. He was one of the main options on offense for the Mountaineers since he could create for himself and knock down shots from all over the floor. With the Pelicans reportedly moving on from Lonzo Ball, McBride can fill that role and be a great third option to Zion and Brandon Ingram. My NBA comparison for McBride is Lonzo Ball as they are both great on-ball defenders and very underrated shooters. With the 18th pick, the Thunder select Zaire Williams from Stanford. Williams was a highly touted 5-star recruit out of high school and he was projected to be a lottery pick going into his freshman year, but expectations eventually dropped. Zaire is a tall 6'8" shooting guard that can finish at the rim and score from the perimeter. His only con is that he is a very streaky shooter and he can get checked out of games if he's not hitting shots.
You can constantly see anything over the top.
Williams' pro con will be Cam Reddish as they are both big guards who can hit shots and are underrated defenders. With the 19th pick, the New York Knicks select Nashawn Bones Highland from VCU. Bones was arguably the biggest winner of the combine as his stock rapidly increased due to his play. He is a volume scorer who can hit shots from anywhere on the court.
The last 5 threes. And there's another 3 from Bones.
Barely. Shot clock's down. A launch.
The Knicks are in need of a point guard as an aging Derrick Rose is now a free agent. Highland can be a go-to starter for New York and contribute immediately.
If you're a shooter, then shoot it. If you're a rebounder.
My pro comparison for Bones will be Jamal Crawford as they are both unique scorers who can go get a bucket at any time. With the 20th pick, the Atlanta Hawks select Keon Johnson from Tennessee. Johnson falls the farthest in my mock draft as he is currently projected to be a late lottery pick. Keon is a great athlete and good defender who has the potential to be a useful two-way wing.
A really good defensive sequence by Cincinnati, and here comes
Johnson lacks ball handling and creativity in the half court. With the Hawks rumored to be shopping Cam Reddish, Keon Johnson can be a handy contributor off the bench as a replacement for Atlanta. His comparison will be rookie Jaylen Brown as they have similar skill sets but not the best ball handling ability. With the 21st pick, the New York Knicks select Kai Jones out of Texas. Jones is a very energetic 6'10" big man who is a great defender.
Pass into the paint, Jones with this stuff. Cunningham brings it up. Kai Jones, look!
Very mobile for his size, he was able to move his feet and keep up with many positions defensively.
Texas, the next time we will see them in action, it's going to be Sunday. What does Texas need to do that they did tonight at the big...
He showed traits of being an all-around scorer as he shot 38% from 3 and could finish around the rim.
Are directly positioned.
Not surprising, Abaji was the one to knock that shot down. Now to the game high 11.
He did a little bit of everything but has very raw talent.
That's good footwork again.
Over time, if he develops the right way, he'll be able to score at all 3 levels and defend with the best of them. My pro comparison for Jones would be Christian Wood, as they are both good scorers for their size and forceful defenders. With the 22nd pick, the Los Angeles Lakers select Jared Butler from Baylor. Butler is one of the best guards in this class and was an overall winner in his college career. He was one of the best playmakers this year and was an elite ball handler for the Bears. What he lacked in athleticism, he made up with his creativity and IQ offensively.
Great call. Butler, step back three.
Are they locked in? Are they focused?
He most likely would have been higher in my mock draft if it wasn't for the heart condition that came up during the draft process. If he can stay healthy, the Lakers will be able to fill that apparent need at the point guard position. He'll be able to start day one around LeBron James and Anthony Davis. My comparison for Butler will be Kyle Lowry, as they are both smaller guards who will outsmart their defender with their terrific IQ and skill. With the 23rd pick, the Houston Rockets select Trey Mann from Florida. Mann is a crafty guard who can score with the best of them. He is a smooth player who has a certain finesse to his game.
Man inside spin.
He wasn't the greatest passer, as he tends to turn the ball over at times. With John Wall's future in question in Houston, Trey Mann can contribute early and provide scoring for the Rockets next to young stars Jalen Green and Kevin Porter Jr. My comparison will be Darius Garland, as they are both crafty and flashy guards who can score. With the 24th pick, the Rockets select Usman Garuba from Spain. Garuba is a 6'8" power forward who is an all-around fantastic defender. He can guard multiple positions and be a force defensively. Garuba is a projected lottery pick, but I don't see that hype as he has no offensive bag. My pro con for Usman will be Draymond Green without the playmaking ability, because they are both great defenders, but Garuba does not have that instinct with the ball that Draymond has. With the 25th pick, the Los Angeles Clippers select Ayo Dosunmu from Illinois. Ayo is a 6'4" guard and was one of the best players in the nation last season. His ability to create in the half court, especially in pick and rolls, is what got him in the first round in my mock. He is a terrific defender and will fit right in with Kawhi and PG. With Reggie Jackson's price tag maybe becoming too much, the Clippers will be searching for a point guard for the future, and Ayo can be that. My NBA comparison for Dosunmu is DeJounte Murray, who is a terrific defender and an underrated scorer. With the 26th pick, the Denver Nuggets select Trey Murphy III from Virginia. Murphy is one of the best 3-and-D prospects in this draft. He shot 43% from 3, and at 6'8", he has the potential to be special on the defensive side.
But he improved all the way to be on the all-defensive team.
It has more blocks than the second, third, and fourth guys combined of the Virginia career.
He is not the greatest playmaker, but for his role, it won't affect him that much. My NBA comparison for Murphy will be Mikal Bridges, as they both are 3-and-D guys and have similar play styles. With the 27th pick, the Brooklyn Nets select Cam Thomas out of LSU. Thomas was undoubtedly the best scorer in the nation last year. Averaging 23 points per game, Cam scored at all three levels on the floor with a high degree of difficulty. His shot-making ability was fun to watch, and he could get hot very quick. However, he tends to shoot bad shots and take plays off on the defensive end.
A team that's kind of at the similar competition level as him.
He plays a very selfish brand of basketball, but when you're that good of a scorer, it sometimes doesn't matter. The Nets are adding another elite scorer to a team that already has 3 of the best scorers of all time. My NBA comparison for Cam Thomas will be Lou Williams, because they are both pure bucket getters and can score as well as anyone on the floor. With the 28th pick, the Philadelphia 76ers select Sharife Cooper from Auburn. Cooper is a very crafty guard and one of the best passers in this draft. He creates for himself in many unique ways, and at only 6'1", Cooper's creativity in the paint and on the perimeter is what separates himself from other guards in this class. Although he isn't the biggest, he makes up for it with his elite playmaking abilities. He shot poorly from the three-point line at only 23%, but with changes to his mechanics, that number will increase. With the Sixers actively shopping Ben Simmons, Sharife can compete with Tyrese Maxey as a starting point guard for Philly. My NBA comparison for Sharife will be prime Rajon Rondo, because of their savvy skills with the ball, unselfishness, and court awareness to find their open teammates. With the 29th pick, the Phoenix Suns select Day'Ron Sharpe from North Carolina. Sharpe is a 6'11", 265-pound interior center that has great defensive upside. He doesn't have the craziest of post moves, but his physicality makes up for it. He is a great rebounder, and over time he can be a productive big man off the bench for the Suns, who is in need of a backup center. My NBA comparison for Sharp would be Richaun Holmes, who is a great defender that has good size for a big man that can contribute on offense. With the final pick in the first round, the Utah Jazz select JT Thor from Auburn. JT is a raw and unpolished lefty forward who has the potential to do great things offensively. Thor showed flashes of how good he can be with his athleticism and touch on the offensive end. He can switch with multiple positions defensively and stay in front of smaller guards. With the Jazz in need of a younger forward with an aging Bogdanovich and Joe Ingles, JT Thor can be a stash player that has the potential to be solid since he is only 18 years old. My NBA comparison for JT will be Jonathan Isaac, as they are both lengthy forwards who have the potential to be productive two-way players in the NBA. In my opinion, this draft class has a chance to compete with the 1996 and 2003 draft as one of the best classes of all time. This is one of the deepest group of prospects we've seen in the last decade. Let me know in the comments who y'all think gonna be a rising star at this draft. Appreciate y'all for tuning in, and I'll see y'all next video. Peace.